You can work hard for 20 years and still panic if a single paycheck is delayed. Not because you are lazy, not because you failed. Hard work can help you earn money. But if every dollar you make is still tied to the hours you work, a higher income may not give you the freedom you expect. To understand why, let's compare two people who earn the same salary, Adam and Mark. They both make $4,000 a month. But a few years later, their financial lives look completely different. Not because one of them was luckier. The difference is what they turned their income into. Mark is a hard worker. He works overtime, takes on more responsibility, and gradually begins earning a higher salary. As his income rises, so does his lifestyle. He moves into a nicer home. He buys a better car. He upgrades his phone. He adds new subscriptions and develops more expensive habits. None of these choices is automatically wrong. The problem is that Mark turns every raise into another monthly obligation. A few years later, he earns more than he used to. But now, he also has a more expensive life to maintain. The idea of losing his job frightens him more than it did before. Because if the next paycheck does not arrive, he will not simply stop saving. He may struggle to maintain the life he has built. Adam also earns $4,000 a month. He enjoys his life and covers his needs. But when his income rises, he does not increase his spending at the same pace. He puts part of his salary into an emergency fund. He invests another part for the long term. He also uses a small amount to develop skills that may help him earn more in the future. During the first few months, there is no obvious difference between them. In fact, Mark appears more successful from the outside. He has a better car. He owns newer things. His lifestyle is more noticeable. Adam looks fairly ordinary, but as time passes, the invisible gap between them begins to grow. Mark still depends on his next paycheck to maintain his current lifestyle. Adam, however, has enough savings to cover several months of expenses, investments that continue to grow, and skills that may eventually produce income outside his job. They both started with the same salary. But one turned his income into new obligations, while the other turned it into things that could give him more options in the future. That is the fundamental difference between earning money and building wealth. When you receive a salary, you exchange your time and effort for money. That is normal. For most people, a stable job is a necessary and reliable place to begin. The problem starts when your entire financial life remains dependent on that exchange. There are only 24 hours in a day. Your energy is limited. Your health is limited. The amount of your life you can devote to work is limited. No matter how disciplined you are, you cannot keep selling more hours forever. That is why hard work alone is not a complete wealth-building strategy. The real goal is to turn a small part of what you earn into things that can continue creating value for you over time. That could be an investment, a small business, a piece of work that generates royalties, a digital product that can be sold repeatedly, or a project in which you own a share. Not everyone needs to quit their job and build a huge company. Most people do not need a billion-dollar idea either. Even a small part of your financial life becoming less dependent on your ability to work tomorrow can make a meaningful difference. That is why asking only, "How can I earn more money?" is not enough. A stronger question is, "What problem can I solve for other people?" Money often flows towards solutions. Someone pays a contractor because their roof is leaking. A company hires an accountant to avoid expensive mistakes. A parent pays a teacher to help their child. A business buys software that saves its employees time. People are often paid not according to how exhausted they are, but according to how much value they create for others. That may not always feel fair. Someone doing physically exhausting work may earn less than someone with a more comfortable office job. But income is not a measure of human worth. The market often prices solutions, not people. How important a problem is, how many people experience it, and how many people can solve it all influence how much money the solution can generate. You cannot control the entire economy, but you can improve the number and quality of problems you are able to solve. Adam begins doing exactly that. He notices an area at work where people constantly struggle. First, he improves his ability in that area. Then he combines that skill with another one. A single skill can make you employable. A combination of skills can make you much harder to replace. A good teacher, for example, can teach lessons. But if that teacher also learns video production and online education, they can reach far beyond one classroom. A designer can serve one client at a time. Reusable templates can sell the same work to hundreds of people. The idea is simple. Make one piece of work produce results more than once. Instead of working for 1 hour and being paid only for that hour, you create something that can continue producing value later. A video can be watched by thousands of people. A book can be sold again and again. Software can serve many users at the same time. A well-designed system can keep working without requiring you to be involved in every step. This is called leverage. But creating a system that produces value is not enough by itself. You also need to own at least part of that system, product, or investment. You could spend years helping a valuable company grow. But if you own none of it, most of the long-term benefit will go to someone else. Ownership does not necessarily mean building a large company. You can own small pieces of companies through long-term investments. You can create a digital product. You can earn royalties from your work. You can own part of a local business or a project you helped build. What matters is that at least a small part of your financial progress comes from something other than the hours you sell. Adam's first investment may earn almost nothing. His first product may sell only a few copies. His first attempt at building another source of income may fail completely. That is normal. Online, we usually see only the final result. We see the profitable business, but not the ideas that failed before it. We see the large investment account, but not the small monthly contributions made over many years. We see the freedom. We do not see the long period when progress was almost invisible. Real wealth is often built during that quiet period. It is built when your expenses do not rise as quickly as your income. It is built when extra money goes into savings, investments, or income-producing skills, instead of immediately being turned into a more expensive lifestyle. It is built when your first attempt fails, and you begin again with what you learned. But before you can do any of that, you need a solid foundation. If every unexpected expense forces you into debt, it becomes difficult to think long-term. When you are desperate, it is harder to try something new, reject a bad opportunity, or risk failure. That is why Adam's first goal is not to become rich overnight. He begins by building a small emergency fund. He keeps his fixed expenses under control. He does not add new financial obligations every time his income rises. He leaves breathing room between what he earns and what he spends. That room does more than help him save money. It gives him time to think. It allows him to learn a new skill. It gives him the power to reject a bad job. It helps him recover and try again when his first attempt fails. Wealth is not just the number in your bank account. It is the amount of control you have over your future time. Here is a simple experiment you can try over the next 7 days. Pay attention to the problems people experience repeatedly. What do your coworkers ask you for help with? What do your friends ask your opinion about? Which tasks do people find confusing, expensive, slow, or exhausting? Write them down. Then ask 3 questions about each problem. Do many people experience this problem? Would solving it create real value? Could the solution eventually reach more people without requiring all of my time? You do not need to discover a $1 million idea this week. The goal is simply to begin looking at the world differently. Instead of chasing money directly, start noticing useful problems. Develop valuable skills. Look for ways to make one piece of work create value repeatedly, and turn part of what you earn into things that you can gradually own. Your job can remain the foundation of this process. Your salary can fund your savings, your education, and your first attempts. You can start slowly without taking enormous risks. But do not allow your salary to remain the only way you ever make money. As Mark earned more, he financed a more expensive lifestyle. Adam used what he earned to build a future with more options. They both worked. They both put in effort. But only one of them turned part of that effort into things that could create value without being permanently tied to his time. Most ordinary people will never become billionaires. That is not the real goal anyway. The real goal is to build enough savings and freedom that a delayed paycheck, a difficult manager, or an unexpected expense can no longer control your entire life. That kind of freedom does not appear overnight. It is not built by luck. It is built slowly by solving useful problems, making disciplined choices, and accumulating things that continue creating value even after you stop working.